We are live. Okay, hi everybody. So we have a couple of guests already. To my right, this way, right? To my right is Mary, my co-host. Down below we have Jefferson Benz, host of the Pocket Change podcast, and now more recently a co-host of the Reseller Locker Room. And then rounding off the panel is Tina with this Lake Exchange, who just had a name change, right? You've concatenated your name. You just Lake Exchange now, right?
I just tried to shorten it up a bit because people will be like, boy, that's an awful lot there. So I thought, those who know me know my name is Tina, so I just backed it out.
All right, well, welcome everyone, and welcome everyone in the chat. Quick little, preliminary why we're here. Last week I was sitting down, and as you know, I usually do a wrap up to each of the meetups, and I had done one for Boss, and I was starting to format what I was going to do for the Planes to Profit, and it was pretty much going to be the same thing, So I said, you know what? Why don't I do a live hangout? And we could everyone will do my work for me. Because I'm basically lazy. I like to have everybody else kind of do everything for me. So just doing a live and recapping the not only the Planes to Profit, but also the Boss. And we could also talk about the upcoming meetup, which will be in 8 days, right? 7 or 8 days or so. Yeah. Next Thursday in Nashville. And I happen to love the live format. I mean, one of the reasons why Mary and I have this channel is to bring the community together, and what better place to do it than at a meetup, and what better way to do that than to have people at the meetup talking to the people who are at home. So this is kind of like along the same lines, the same vein. So let's just before I give my guests a chance to talk, let's just check out, see who's in the chat. We got to start with number one, right? Keith Pitco from England, all the way from England. Keith, I have a little running gag with Keith. He's always number one. I know him from Flippin' Ain't Easy live Monday and Fridays, and he's number one in the chat. I usually get there like second or third, but he always beats me. So he was nice enough to come by and be number one in the chat tonight as well. Then we have Joe. Joe is Mary's son, and he will be at the meetup in Nashville, and really a great guy. I keep on saying great kid. Joe's like what, 32 years old, Mary? How old?
38.
38. Yeah. I gotta stop calling him a kid. Well, I'm 69, so everyone younger than 50 is a kid to me, but I want to give him the respect that he deserves. He's certainly not a kid. He is a man, and good to see you, Joe. And let's see who else is in the chat. Well, Jefferson checked in, but here you are. Okay, well, we'll give everyone else. Speaking of Flippin' Ain't Easy, there's John. One of my favorite podcasts. John just had his live. He had a members only live where he does this roundtable. It's like the greatest. I mean, we feature different shows, different stores, and I get a lot out of it. And that's something that's just part of his members only podcast, which is done like once a month, twice a month. So I highly recommend, if you're not familiar with John, go over to his channel, Flippin' Ain't Easy, give him some support, subscribe, and join the members only. I think it's like $2 a month, and you get an opportunity to have the privilege of being at the members only podcast, which is a little more of a kind of informal kind of thing, and I get a lot out of it. It was a great show tonight, John. Thanks for coming by. All right, and we have also, let's see, we have Rebellious Road Resale, Josh and Tara. How are you guys? How are you? Good to see you. And Lux Garage, Jason, I met. I met Jason the same day I met Mary, right, at Rossville, Texas. Jason is another great channel if you like. Jason is the king of the Hot Wheels. He just is an amazing source of information. We went picking together at the 127 and had a great time. Really a great guy. Thanks for coming by, Jason. That's cool. That's cool. That's Jason's famous catchphrase. That's cool. And then who else we got? We got the biscuity, buttery biscuit bud. Hey, Archie. How are you? How's everything going over there at your house? Archie's in a little bit of a mess. I made his toilet run over and ended up flooding his house. And he's been like having to rebuild it for the last month. Really created some havoc. But he hasn't complained. Great guy. And Tina's saying hi to Archie. And let's see. SSK promo, Mr. Bill. Formerly from the Reseller locker room. There you go. I'm representing. Great show today, by the way, Ken. Sorry I missed it, but I did make a comment. Who else? We got Joe. We got Archie again. I'm still getting the hang of how to read these comments. That's cool. That's cool. I told you. All right. I'll give the floor up to my guests. Anyone like to say anything or make any comments or? And again, the reason for this live hangout loosely is reminiscing about the two meetups that occurred in March and the one coming up in April. But that's a very loose format. Anyone can talk about anything that they want, but that's a good starting point.
So I'll jump in. When I learned about Planes to Profit and where it was, and for those of you watching who don't know me, I'm based in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I thought, Omaha, I can drive that. I can do that. And so I waited until January to sign up because I wanted it all on this year's taxes with all the hotel and the mileage and all of that. I'll know not to do that this year because I think it's going to sell out faster. And again, I went into it with no expectations and oh my gosh, just the networking and the chatting. And I missed out on knowing that there was a Facebook group. Otherwise, I'd have been doing some garage selling and stuff a little bit sooner, but that's okay too. I thrifted at a few places on my way out. So found some scores there. And once again, the reseller community proved very open group, willing to share information. There are no huge secrets. There is no magic wand, but it's just kind of nice to learn bits and pieces of how other people approach their business or approach their merchandise. So had a great time. And I brought a friend with me so my husband would be a little more comfortable that I wasn't making the drive by myself. I went to Omaha via Rochester, Minnesota. Then we came back down, brought a quilting friend with me, and even everybody at the event. Anne would come to with us at dinner at night because I didn't want to leave her in the hotel alone the whole time. And then when the group would be out, they'd be like, "Where's your friend?" I go, "She's not a reseller. She's having her own quilt retreat sewing in the hotel room." And again, when we'd go to dinner night, she's just like, "Oh my gosh, Tina, these are the nicest people." And I said, "Yeah, I'm really blessed to have found this community."
Yeah, we're not bad. We'll do, right? That's what I love about it. I mean, I've never, for 1 second, ever been in the presence of another reseller, whether it be a Meetup or wherever, where I wasn't just like totally comfortable, at ease, welcome, helpful. If I ever needed anything, there's never a question of what am I going to do. Everyone's always there to help out. That's the great thing about the community. I'm just going to acknowledge a couple other people who just got in. We have Alicia, the Ink Picker, who was one of our hosts at the Planes to Profit. Hi, Alicia. Thanks for coming, dear. And then also I did see Riverbend Resale. I think I made a comment. Yep. And how are you, Doug and Kara? I think I did comment on that. I don't know whether to comment in person or to respond in the chat. I'll figure it out. Yeah, Keith, definitely come. Keith is in England, and he asked me if we can have a meetup across the pond. I says, you never know. We'll see what we can do. We're going to work on it.
That'd be cool. I always wanted to go to a boot sale. Yeah.
We want to buy some boots, right? You'll have to get some boots.
Yeah, I only wear boots, so that'd be perfect. He's
a good breed man. We're just kidding. This boot sale is what you call a flea market in the UK.
Yeah.
Though I recently learned my passport expired a year ago, so I got to work on that renewal.
Yeah, I think I could get mine done too.
Oh, by the way, a little public service announcement. I got to do it too with all the travel that I do. For anyone who needs a passport, there's a new requirement as far as identification. You have to get that real. I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know in New York, at least, you have to have a real ID. So it's like it's an enhanced. It's the same thing where you are, Jefferson.
In Florida, you had to get that, yeah.
Well,
and I think pretty much the airlines at some point you're going to need that to fly anywhere, even inside the U.S. That's something they're talking about.
Again, that's on your driver's license. I think that goes into hard effect May 7th, but don't quote me on that date.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to welcome in Mr. Jack, Brian from Jack's Treasures. I don't know if your better half is with you, Tracy, but he says he's going to come and join us both. Yeah, I'm glad. I had invited Brian on my live he was also in Planes to Profit, and he was going to, but he was a little under the weather from something that he ate, so I missed being on the live. So he says, Brian, I hope you can make it on this live, and here he is. So take your time, come in. I think you have the link, Jack, Brian. I think I sent it to you right on there. I'm sure Mary sent it to you. She doesn't miss a trick. So whenever you get a chance, pop in. And again, anyone else who would like to join in, it's a live hangout. It's just very loose. Anyone's welcome to come in, and not that you have to. You could just hang out from the chat, but please interact in the live chat. That's just good.
Tina, was that your first meetup?
Yes,
it was. Okay, if you said that, I missed it. So, okay.
Yeah, the only local meetup group that I'm aware of is Chicago, which is 3.5 hours south of me.
Okay.
And I chatted with Mike some at Planes to Profit after eBay opened last fall. I went on to their seller community and applied to host or start a local meetup because I thought they might send you like a startup packet or something. Nah, crickets, haven't heard a thing.
I think once you have the meetup and you tell them, hey, I'm going to do a meetup on this day, I have so many people, then they'll send you the stuff.
Then they'll send you
So
stuff.
you gotta
Okay,
actually
because
have one
I know
instead.
they'll supply swag and stuff, and
Yeah.
I just not that I want to add that to my plate, but I think there's a need for something in what we refer to as Northeast Wisconsin, because I know informally a handful of other resellers, and I think it would just be another way to kind of bring people together and continue to build this network of people and resources.
Yeah. When I got to Savannah, I was thinking, oh, there's got to be one here because in Tampa there's two, and then there's one down further, the Sarasota area. That I've been to a couple different ones, and I was excited to find the one in Savannah. There isn't one here, so
Yeah.
But I don't have time to start one. Otherwise, I might.
Yes, as far as those local groups, I mean, eBay is not going to do anything for you, but it's nice that they provide a provision for doing so. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you can go on eBay. It's eBay sellerevents.ebay.com, and you can sign up for starting a local chapter. And again, they're not going to do anything for you. They're going to just establish it, but it will go on record, and so that anyone maybe coming into your town wants to find a local meetup can look up your area, and they'll find you that. And but so they're not really going to they're not going to support. Not that they're not going to support it, but they're just kind of giving you the opportunity to set it up.
But I think if I schedule one, don't they have like a community calendar they would put it on?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
As another way for people to find it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there a lot of the events that I post, I actually get off the eBay page.
Yeah,
I kind of scour the socials also, but yeah, I definitely have gotten things gotten events off of there. Like for instance, Kathy Terrell, she does one in New York every month.
Yeah.
Star does one in Pittsburgh every month. Those are ongoing ones. Now, I think the closest one to me is the Akron one, and that's, I don't know, that's still probably 3 hours for me. So
yeah.
But I think you could set one up in an adjacent area, and just have one more local. And as far as what you do with these local meetups, again, it's up to the moderator, the person who sets it up. You can just do
Sure.
what Star does. She does like a a weekly, I think, Zoom call. Actually, she uses StreamYard, but eBay sets you up on Zoom if you want. And then if you want to do something like in person, then you set that up yourself. Like I think once a month they go to lunch, and the other 3 weeks they just have an informal chat online. So many ways to do it.
Jefferson's locker room partner's giving him trouble.
Yeah, don't let anybody on here. But I'm on here and you're not.
Well, I invited Alex, but
I know you did. I'm keeping it clean. I'm here for the eye candy today, not for the vulgarness.
Thanks,
I was going to say it's the bearded bookman is in the chat now.
Yes. Greatest beard in all of reselling.
I think so.
Yeah, he is.
And that's why they awarded him this title of the king. Right?
He's the king.
Mike, I did enjoy your last recap of Boss Reseller.
Oh, thank you.
You had just enough snippets of some of the different presenters just kind of make you go, wow. And it's really a shame. And I get it why they're perhaps not going to host it again. But I would say it certainly gave a platform for somebody who wants to try to emulate that to give it a go.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm going to do everything in my power to see if I can get that to continue. I spoke to Vicky, I spoke to Teresa. They gave me 2 different answers as far as whether it was going to happen. Again, we'll see. But I know they're up against the wall. I mean, it's tough. That's a big meetup. I mean, that's like Katie was telling me it costs like $80,000 to put that together.
Yeah.
So let me just review the chat, see if anyone else came in. Or Alex, I know, came in. Oh, Joe, I'd flip that. Hi, everyone. Joe, I'm going to meet in Nashville next week. And I'll make a little plug for your contribution to the meetup. And I'm going to try to put one more hint in, Joe. I keep on hinting to Joe. I really want to be on his game show. For those of you who don't know, Joe and Nicole from I'd Flip That, they have they host a game show, which is really a riot. And they had it last year live during the Boss meetup during the lunch times. And I happened to miss that event, so I missed it. But they have it on this show. It's the Reseller Showdown. And it's just like kind of a game show, a spoof on Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, all that. Really, really well done. Excellently well done. Campy, funny, but great production values. Joe and Nicole put a lot of work into it. I know, and it comes out good. And they are going to do it at the Nashville meetup coming up next week. And as if you didn't need another reason to want to attend that meetup, that's definitely one that's worth it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. So welcome in, Joe. Okay.
SSK Promo gave us a couple of nice shout outs on his show today. So thanks, Ken.
Yeah, Ken's the best. Ken, I made a comment in your in the chat of your Ken versus 10 today. I said, yeah, I know you're going to be there. Ken has not missed any one of my lives since I started. So I guess he must have the notification bell turned on. Thanks, Ken. Great guy. I really love Ken.
I just want to say one thing to Ken, SSK Promo. Yes, you have the greatest Christmas beard. Seasonal beard goes to you. Overall beard king. Just saying. I've seen it. But when you shave it off and you save it in a little baggie, that's creepy. It's a little creepy.
Okay, I know you're not supposed to have dead air. That's like the Cardinals' sin of live streams, to keep the action going. But I'm trying to read this chat, and I don't want to miss anybody. So please.
And I don't want to monopolize the live either. But I'll tell you quick how our Wednesday went. So again, I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There's a big summer event down the road from us that happens every year called the EAA Fly-In. That's the Experimental Aircraft Association, and that is the world's largest fly-in. People literally come from around the world to be at this week-long event. So we volunteer at a secondary airport about a half an hour south of us. So that whole airport is going through some huge TSA security check. So we had to go down for what they call rebadging to get new security badges. We had all our paperwork filled out. That's when we discovered my passport was expired. So I had to bring my birth certificate. We roll in 15 minutes early for our appointment. She looks at the form and she goes, "Oh, well, so-and-so has to sign this." And I'm like, "I thought that would happen after this." And she goes, "Oh, no, we can't do anything." And it's the guy who kind of heads up this one location. Luckily, he lived 12 minutes away and worked from home. And boy, we hauled it to his house, got his signature, came back, got our badges because I did not want to have to make another trip down there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all legal now. I can be on what they call the hard surface. We drive golf carts, and once the small planes, actually it's the private jets that come in. Once they're parked, we'll cart out. We have paperwork for them to complete. We'll try to help with their bags and whatnot. And I mean, I met a family from France one year. That was fun. Had a guy, he was from Portland, but his dad came over from Australia. And it's just a really cool moment in time. And then they'll talk because they think we're pilots, and we're like, "Yeah, no, just volunteers." But boy, we see some awfully cool airplanes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I want to take a moment to welcome in the breakout star of 2025, Mike Deathpile Picker. So thanks for coming in, Mike. Good to see you. And I'm really happy. I've just found out that you and your sidekick, Commonwealth Picker, will be at Nashville. This event gets better and better every day. I gotta say, I've been looking forward to it for like about 6 or 8 months already, and as it's getting closer, and the more people I know are going to be there, it's going to be really cool. Ken did something interesting on his live today. He did a survey of how many people in his chat were going to be in Nashville. I think it was like 64, 65%. So it's going to be a good time. Last I heard, I spoke to Ray just last couple of days ago. It's up to over 200 people, 200, 220, something like that. I know Nashville's a big town. I don't know where they fit everybody, but it should.
I hope the restaurants and some of the venues you're going to, that Ray has given them a heads up on the head count. Because and I mean, that's awesome that it's gotten that. But again, he's taken a different approach in that, this is a very casual gathering, and they've scheduled some events, and that's a nice aspect too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Ray's taking a good care of it. He's been working his butt off. I tell you, he's been doing nothing but working at for the arrangements for the meetup for like the last 2 months.
So the big question is Kevin bringing the big trailer?
I don't know. We could ask Mike that question because Mike's actually the trailer keeper. So
yeah, he's the driver.
Yeah, who all in the chat is going to Nashville? I'd be kind of curious. I know several people who are, and a couple of people have already chimed in saying they are. Now, Jefferson, was Crossville your first one?
No, yeah. I've gone to a couple different ones. I met Mike at the Trash to Cash one in Florida.
Okay.
Not the first one. Did you meet me first in North Carolina, in Josh's? Didn't I meet you at Josh's?
Yeah, yes, I went to Josh's. That's where I met you, at Josh's. Right, and then we hooked up again at the other one. I've been to a few other ones here and there. I do a lot of the smaller ones. But right now, I really wanted to go to the one in Omaha. I planned on doing that, but then I changed jobs. So Nashville will be my first one. Probably only one this year, actually.
Okay. That's what are you looking forward to most? Because I know we want to talk about like past and future ones. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the game night. That ought to be fun. I have to work Friday, so I get off of work, drive to the airport. I got a straight flight from here to there, land at 8:30, and then come meet everybody for the after party on Friday night, and then hang out, go to the Benz. Definitely want to check out the arcade one that the Reseller Locker Room is sponsoring. So that should be fun. And I heard we're going to do karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
And I can sing like an angel. So
that's so shocking, especially since Ben's going to be there, that there's karaoke.
Yeah. I heard, he like ripped a tendon singing karaoke. That's how much he gets into it. He hurts himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He did.
Yeah, I do remember that, actually.
So, Mike, will you come back for the 127 this year?
I don't know. I've been trying to muster up some interest in a meetup. I know the two old guys are not going to sponsor a meetup this year, and I did put the question to my boys about if anyone, namely Alex and Ben, and see if there was any interest in getting a meetup. I haven't heard back from them, and usually, no news is not so good news. I don't think there's going to be an organized meetup in Crossville this year. Not that I heard of, but my feelers are out. And you know me, if there's any kind of an interest, if there's more than 2 or 3 resellers convening at any one area,
I'll be there.
I'll do my best to. You gonna be there?
No, Crossville is a bit far south for me. I might see if I can get my friend I thrift with. We might go hit part of Indiana. Just to, it's one of those things you just kind of want to say you went to some of it and saw some of it.
Yeah, to be honest, as far as the highway sale, the meetup was great. I mean, this is where I met Ben and Alex, and Jefferson was there, and Mary was there, and Joe, her son, was there. It was a great time when we kind of got together and hung out. But as far as the highway sale itself, it's like 5 states worth of like circus tents of vendors, and that's, you're not really going to get a great buy from there. Although the real trick is to go off the beaten path and go to all the garage sales that are off of 127, and those are pretty cool. But without an actual meeting of a bunch of people, I think I'm really more than wanting to go to highway sales. I like the meetups that are associated with them. So there's not going to really be a meetup organized, I might pass. Just want to take a minute to acknowledge a couple of people who came in the interim. We got, I think it's Stuart, right? Stuart from Finders Flippers. He had mentioned that. I think I put it up. Yeah, Weston and Stuart coming to join Johnny. These are great bunch of guys. I had met Stuart a long time ago, I think at the First Boss, and then we got a chance, Mary and I, to be on their podcast a couple of months back when we were first getting established in the space. They were one of the about 10 different YouTube channels that just opened up their arms to us and welcomed us into the community and really got us on the map. And then we got also Chad Quirky Picker. Thanks for coming by, Chad. And Sweet Peas Attic. Thanks for joining. And I think we're caught up. So, Mary, you're a little bit quiet. Why don't you have I'm so happy that Mary came on today. Not that I had to talk her into it, but I said, Mary, I've done like 5 or 6 videos now without your face on them, and the crowd, the audience loves you, Mary. So I'm glad that we got a chance to have you back on. Although I would say probably the next 5 or 6 videos, Mary will be all over it because we'll be together at Nashville.
Yeah, you'll be stuck with my face then. Yeah, no worries at all. I did want to tell Finders Flippers, you guys, hey Wes, it sounds like it's Wes. My stickers come in tomorrow night. So I was debating as to whether to order stickers, because I thought, is anybody like seriously going to want one of my stickers? And so they just got new stickers, and so they mentioned it on their podcast, and so I put in the comments that I'm thinking about getting them, but I don't know. I have to decide if anybody would even want one, and they immediately chimed in, yes, we want one, and then Consignment Chats chimed in and said yes. So that was very nice. So I ordered them. So, but I get one of you guys stickers too.
I had actually was on a website. I was going to order some to bring to Planes to Profits. And then as a lot of my days go, I just never did it. And then it was too late, but I will definitely have some next go around.
Yeah, I asked in a chat where the best place to get them is, and Corey from Grams and Pops immediately said Sticker Mule. So that's just where I happen to get mine, okay. Sticker Mule. And it seemed, I ordered them, I think, on Friday, and they're coming in tomorrow. So
wow.
Maybe I will only, get rid of 4 of them, but that's fine. I'm kind of excited though. I don't have a name on there that I go by like on YouTube or anything, but it's the name that I use on my selling sites.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I feel like Joe and I mostly went to the garage sales with you guys. You guys had already done the tent city, so I didn't even experience those. Yeah, Chad, I was literally in tears yesterday when I watched that podcast. The Two Old Guys is no more. That made me really sad.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, that was their last one. So
I don't watch it, but it comes up on my Apple CarPlay in the car.
yeah, well, that was the whole reason initially that I'd planned to go to the Pick in the Plateau, because I had been watching their podcast ever since Chris was on there, before Josh came on. And a year before, I promised Caleb, I'm like, I will come to the next one. And so, yeah, so I've been following those guys for a long time. So I don't know if Josh is going to keep it going or not. So
hey, I get it. It's a commitment, and it's another, excuse my words, another time suck on your day. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Bye, Mike.
Mike's leaving us. Thanks for coming by, brother.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that I'm in the locker room now. I don't have to edit it. So that's all on Rocky Top. I like that part. That saves me some time.
you just get to show up and participate.
Yeah, I just show up. My bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, some odd thoughts I have in my head that I want to spew out loud and proud. It works out.
Fancy pants you want to share? More fancy pants. Yeah.
Same fancy pants. These are the best. My lounge wear, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They are very comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Roman. Yeah, somebody was asking me on Messenger today. They had messaged our Facebook page if there is an actual map or anything of the garage sales in Nashville, and I don't think there are. But did I miss something? I think you just kind of go and find yard sales.
What I do is I use the same yard sale apps that I use at home. The garage sailor app and the yard sale treasure maps. Because what you can do is it defaults to whatever location that you're using the app in, but you can specify a zip code. So like when I go to Vegas, like even the week before, I'm plugging in the Vegas zip code and I'm getting a little battle plan for where to go, and I use it in Omaha as well, and I'll use it in Nashville. Now it's more effective in certain areas than other. I've noticed they work great in my area and they work great in Vegas. I don't know if in Omaha there weren't as many yard sales available the week that we were there, or if that they just don't use those apps. But you could always use Facebook, Facebook to look up yard sales, and Craigslist to look up yard sales. So there's plenty of different opportunities to find out about these sales, because, like I said, so that's one of the nice features of the meetups, even though they're usually not part of the meetup, is to you usually have like a little downtime, and I always go like a week before, a week after, so I have weekend free time on weekends and go to all these garage sales. So while I'm in a different area, why not experience how the yard sales, how the thrift stores are in those particular areas. I think that's one good aspect of being able to go away to meetups, because you're in a whole different area. So I take full advantage of it by looking up the different sales in the area, mapping out a little plan of attack, and then hitting the yard sale trail when I'm out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I figured. But she was literally wondering if there were some kind of a map where everybody was going, like everybody was just all 250 people are just going to kind of parade into a garage sale. And I mean, she didn't say it that way, but that's But I didn't think there was anything like that. I mean, there's a general sequence of events, obviously, for the meetup, but
yeah. Usually at meetups, everybody goes their own way on the yard sales, because if you're trying to pick and find something to resell, if 250 of you show up, you end up with some fist fights. Yeah, if Rod's there, he's going to win because I'm just going to don't body slam me. But
if there happens to be, I know what's really grown up in my area is when the different communities and in some cases neighborhoods set up a community sale for a set weekend. They will typically have not only a map, but a listing by address and a synopsis of what they're selling. And those I find on Facebook.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, I'll just mention that sorry, go ahead.
You could search community sales, garage sales, Nashville, and see if anything pops.
Okay. All right. I'll just tell her to find them how she normally finds them then. But I just kind of want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So, because she had a couple other questions, so I need to reach out to Ray about that. Sometimes people message that page and think like I'm the organizer, which is fine. I mean, I'm happy to go find out the information, but some of the things I just need to find out. So,
but Yard Sale Treasure Map doesn't really work for me anymore. And is that because Facebook wouldn't allow them to import anymore? There's some platform they lost at some point.
Craigslist. It was Craigslist. Okay. Yeah, they lost Craigslist. I always like gsailor.com better. I always like that one better myself. And
is that an app or a website?
It's an app.
Yeah. GSALE. No, GSALR. No E. GSALR. So that I always like that one better.
Just want to take a minute to welcome Rod into the chat. Thanks for coming, buddy. My benefactor. The reason why I'm here, man. I told the story a million times. I got to stop saying it because everyone's heard it already. But Rod, and Jefferson, two people here that I really consider responsible for me being here. I won't tell the whole story again, but in essence, they pretty much steamrolled me into starting my own YouTube channel in a loving way. And I was sensible enough to listen to them because everyone else had been asking me to start a YouTube channel, and I really resisted it. But somehow or other, the combination of Rod and Jefferson give me some good words of wisdom. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to have a channel. And here we are. So thanks, Jefferson. And I thought if I ever thanked you specifically, but thank you, sir. I know I thanked Rod because when we picked him up at the airport, Archie and I in Vegas.
But it was an inevitable that you were going to get here. I just needed a little push, and a few pushes apparently. So, it worked out.
It's so true. Again, getting back to what I said about community being so supportive and really, the community will tell you what you need to do before you even know what you need to do. So I'm very, very grateful for everyone in our great community.
Yeah, we got to hang out with Rod and Kat on the Nurse Flipper channel 2 Tuesdays ago. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That's on there. That was fun. That's such a great show. I mean, I've been watching that for years. It's if you want to know anything about the details and specifics about all the platforms, about all the policies, about all the current events and everything, check out Rod and Kat's show. It's a live show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. It's 2 hours. They have 2 guests each show, so there's 200 guests, 200 different people a year, right? Which is great because you get a little different point of view on every question. And some people might not, I don't know, I'm not on Poshmark and Mary's not on eBay. So we had to kind of pass on the eBay and Poshmark questions, but that's all right. But for the most part, over the course of those 2 hours, everyone gets a real good dose of information that's pertinent for us, really, really informative, and it keeps you current and keeps you on track with everything and great and full of great ideas as well. And suggestions and tricks and hacks and bolos. And it's really a great show.
Just really quick, Jack's Treasures is backstage.
Oh, is he? Okay, let's get Brian right on then. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Come on in. Now I don't have to talk anymore.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Mike?
Good. I'm doing well. Thanks for coming, brother.
I wouldn't have missed it. We just got back from Chattanooga about an hour ago. I had to do a recording real fast. That's why I needed that little bit of time and stuff. But I said, man, I am not missing out on being my friend right there. Mike, man, it was amazing. Mary, I'm going to be seeing Mary and Mike both in a week. Cannot wait for that. Tina, oh my gosh, me and you talked so much at
it was awesome.
We had so much fun. That was amazing. I had so much fun. It was great. It was a great time, you know.
So were you in Chattanooga for a unit?
No, we go up there. Well, yes and no. We bought a unit here in Georgia, and it was full of all of this stuff that I didn't want to sell. So I take it up to a place called McKay's in Chattanooga, and I consign it. I give it to them, and they give me credit for it. And then I go through the store and I buy everything that I want to sell.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it works out really great because I don't give hardly anything to Goodwill anymore. And I see a bunch of people in the chat. Archie's in here. Hi, Archie. I hope everything's going well and you're finding a place to lay your head.
Yeah, just speaking of, I'm sketching.
Say, Alicia's listening because she's like me. I list at night. So I have all my photos ready. So that's my project when the live is done, is I'll get my daily listings done.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll let you guys speak again for the rest of the night. No problem with that. Just want to kind of acknowledge a few other people that stopped in. We have Larry Wayout. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Hey, Larry.
Larry, last time I saw him was at Boss a couple of months ago. Refresh my memory, Larry. I think you're coming to Nashville, right? If I'm not mistaken. Hopefully you are.
Hope so.
Yeah, and who else? Just a little catch up. I think that's it as far as new people. Yeah. Oh no! Hold on. Anthony's new and fresh. Dragon Master Finds. Anthony, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Dragon Masters.
Roman is always funny.
I love you, Roman. I'm telling you, you've got to come down to Tennessee.
Well, Roman's going to be at Nashville. Just found that breaking news today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. If he's going to be there, that is going to be amazing. That is going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love Roman.
Who doesn't? Roman is well loved in the community, that's for sure.
I don't know. Mr. Jack is having some issues with him because Roman's spreading some bad rumors about Mr. Jack.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Oh, he's saying that he owns all the storage units in America, and he keeps driving up all of the bids. And oh yeah. Mr. Jack is not happy. Oh my gosh. I gotta settle Mr. Jack down from Roman because Roman's poking the beast. That's what I said.
Poking the bear. Well, he's good at that.
Never poke the bear.
Yeah, he's poking the bear. He's poking the bear.
Well, Roman's big enough that he can poke the bear. I tell you, he's a big boy.
Yeah. And Tina, are you coming to Nashville?
No, there's a little thing happening in Green Bay next weekend called the NFL Draft.
Yes, I remember that.
And it's also
I found out about John.
And it's also granddaughter's, who's only 5. It's Olivia's dance recital. So.
Oh yeah.
Grammy does not like to miss those activities because my husband and I are native Texans, so we've been in Wisconsin forever. Mm-hmm. So we take our kids down once a year back to Texas to see our parents, but it just wasn't the same. And I'm having that very different relationship with my grandkids, and it's amazing. They are the best.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good thing to do.
But I'm sure there'll be plenty of videos or snippet lives coming up, and you betcha I'll be watching them.
Yeah, there may be a few.
Mike, you're going live, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I know that. I love the live format. You know, it gives another video to the mix of the comprehensive coverage. And as I was saying before you got here, Brian, I said that I think just in general, the live format. And I consume a lot of YouTube content, believe me, literally hours and hours, a week. And I really enjoy it. And my favorite format, whether it be for my channel or just in general, is the live, because it's us being together, hanging out. It's a meetup.
Yeah, exactly.
So by doing a live at the meetups, I am delivering on my promise of connecting the people, at home who couldn't make it for one reason or another. To the meetup, like I said, we get, we're live right from the meetup, right from where all of the speakers and all of the people that are there are, And if you have a little bit of FOMO and you maybe wish you had been to the meetup because you could meet Brian from Jack's Treasures, right? Well, you can.
There you go.
You can.
Yeah.
You can just come on the live, and then
Well,
I used to have a little.
You don't want to kill the meetup by saying meeting me.
Well,
me, Mike. It's meeting you.
I'm using you as an example because I'm looking right at you, Brian. Yeah. But no, all kidding aside, that really is a possibility, and it was so funny. Like when we did the live from Vegas, Archie was my producer. He was like holding the camera. That was a mess, I tell you. I was going to go on the laptop. That didn't work. I was going to go on so then I was going to go be on StreamYard. That didn't work. I went on YouTube Live. I didn't even know YouTube Live was a thing until 5 minutes before we actually went live. So I had to use my phone, which is like this little guy, right? And it had to be like literally 4 feet on the other side of the table to catch at least 2 people in the field of view. So Archie was the producer. He was moving the camera all around. He was my moderator because I couldn't read the chat from 4 feet away. I could hardly read it from here. And he did a third job. Like if someone wanted to speak to someone, Archie would just put the camera down, right? Because it was on a tripod. And he was a runner to get the particular person that the person at home wanted to talk to. Yeah, go get Rod picking and punching. Okay, we'll go and get him. We got Rod and grabbed him from the audience and brought him in. And whoever was interested in speaking to him, as everyone was.
Is Archie going to Nashville?
No, he's not. But we're going to work on him for next year. Archie's in a little bit of a situation now with renovating his house.
Well, I love watching Archie. I've seen him on a lot of videos. I know he was on the first Joe I'd Flip That's game show.
Right.
And,
he was.
Archie's amazing. Just somebody I really want to meet. I have him up on my list. Mike was one of the people that was on my list to meet too. So when I saw Mike in Omaha, I just ran up and gave him a big ass hug. I love Mike. I mean, Mike is just, when you see him, he comes into a room, he just says, just give me a hug, whatever.
Well, I was going to mention that. I said that's how I met Jack. Now I had known there's some people that of, like Tina, for example. I'm very familiar with Tina from her name, from being in all the chats, but I had never met her. I didn't know what she looked like or anything like that. Brian, I had never met one-on-one, but I was familiar with what he looked like at least, from his shows and his live shows and everything. So we're at I think it was a registration at Plains to Profit, and all of a sudden this guy runs up to me. Now I didn't know. I don't know if you knew, Brian, but I didn't even know who it was. I recognized you once we broke the embrace, but before I even had a chance to know who it was, I had this guy giving me this big bear hug, right? Hey, it's Mike, and I look back and I said, "Oh, Brian, great!" And I hugged him back and everything. And then he said later, "Gee, I don't know. It was like, I hope I wasn't out of line, right? Because I don't know." He says, "No." I says, "Man, bring it on." I said. In fact, I told him. Then I pulled out my blog. I do like a little whenever I'm at the meetups, whoever's not there. Like last time, it was a blog to Jefferson, to Mary, and Archie because they were running Plains to Profit, and I just blog every day what I do, a little running diary to keep them into the loop and everything as well, and all the things that we did. And I told them about this experience where I met Brian for the first time, and I said, not only was I happy with that, I says, "Man, you're my kind of guy, Brian."
Yeah. He said that.
I'm
a big hugger and stuff, and I know some people don't, and so sometimes I try to standoffish a little bit. But when I saw Mike, I said, "F it."
Well, it's funny. It can go one of two ways. Like I did that once, and I just inadvertently went and hugged someone, and you're right, it wasn't the right thing, and they were kind of, you don't know people, right? So you have to kind of maybe be a little careful. But then it worked the other way, and I didn't hug Mike Deathpile the first time I met him. And I just misread it, and I offended him that I didn't hug him. So, it's kind of like, maybe you just kind of feel it out before you do it, and you just get some visual cues. But I will go on record to say that anyone who's never met me, I give you full permission to come right up to me and give me a big hug. I just love it. So I'm definitely huggable. No doubt about it.
So I met Mike when I was checking into the hotel there at Plains for Profits. He's up at the counter, and I go, Mike, and he turns, I go, Tina with the Lake Exchange, and I get a big hug. But he had a handful of IKEA bags. He was arranging for the shuttle bus to take him to the bins. He was out the door to go thrifting.
Well, why not miss any opportunities, right? That was Thursday. It was the day before the meetup was to begin. And, it was like a slow time. No one was there yet. And we had this great arrangement with the shuttle bus. The shuttle bus not only would pick you up at the airport and, drive you back, but they will take you anywhere. Like I says, the guy's name was Jack, actually, was the driver's name. And I got friendly with him. I says, you go anywhere, within a 3-mile radius. So he took me to the thrift store. And he said, all right, call me back when you're ready. Come pick me up. So we had like full carte blanche, accommodations, and I didn't have to use one cab the entire weekend. The hotel shuttle bus was very accommodating.
Have to share another thing that I found a little bit of an eye-opening moment for me was how many couples or partners do this reselling together. Because at my house, I'm married, we're empty nesters and retired. It's just me. The only time hubby makes a comment is when I'm getting yelled at for bringing too much crap in the house. Or when I finally told him last summer that I had rented a storage unit, and he goes, well, you didn't ask me. And I said, funny, I don't recall seeing your name on that LLC. And he goes, well, but I consult. And then once he saw it, he goes, oh, because I got into a brand new storage unit facility. Yes, it's an outdoor one, but they have paved roads because most of them up here are just gravel.
Right.
They use you have an app that you use to lock and unlock the unit.
Oh, I like that.
Involved, and they include $10,000 in liability insurance. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So you bought a unit in there, or you have a unit in there?
I rent one, yeah. So when I first started, I took a 10 by 20. I was paying a whopping $88 a month, and then they raised it $20 a month. But that's from what I hear from other areas. That's a steal.
Yeah, that's a steal for Georgia. That's for sure. For
a nice unit. So
for a 10 by 20, yeah, definitely.
A 10 by 20. Because besides eBay, something else I kind of got into is Wisconsin has a tourist area known as Door, Door County. If you look at the state of Wisconsin, Door County is the thumb. And I'm doing 3 vintage sales up there this summer. So we rent a small U-Haul. We bring the easy ups, tables, bunch of bins. I'm known for my vintage barware and drinking glasses. We go spend the day up there. So what's nice now is with that unit, that's where all the vintage stuff goes. I got all of that out of my garage. So it's all in a single spot. And then we come back into town, dump everything off in the unit, come home, drop the trailer off at U-Haul, and wait for the next one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, my name is CJ Benz Finds. So it's Christy and Jefferson Benz. And my wife was into this for about a month. And then she's like, that's your hobby. And then I moved to Savannah now, and I took only the smalls here, and I had like 4,000 items. I'm down to like 1,800, and I just deleted all those. I was home last weekend. She's like, I kind of missed the eBay thing. I'll go ahead and ship the stuff that's here. I'm like, I just deleted 2,200 listings. She's like, I miss it. Because I'm here and she's still in Tampa. She's like, I have all this time now. I need something to do. I'm like, all right, well, I taught her how to do a listing. So she's going to start listing that stuff again from her end.
Oh,
and
cool.
then
He'll occasionally do a post office drop off for me, because when I first got into this and I asked my mailman, I said, if I schedule pickups, will you scan my packages? And he said no.
Yeah.
I thought, well, F you, I will. And it's not even 3 miles for me to go. So, but I will say USPS, this is my 3rd year of reselling. They totally lost my first package ever.
Oh,
that's not bad.
Yeah.
It was a high dollar package, right?
With shipping, $17. It was a cute little micro machine. And here's what was interesting, because I had, Google Lensed it, and I had put in the title that it was a micro machine, Insiders, 57 Chevy, blah, blah, blah. Well, I get a message from this buyer saying, can you tell me if there's anything inside? And I thought, inside? So I kind of look at it. I go, well, no, you can't see anything. It's just the car. And he goes, turn it over. There should be a hinge on the bottom where you can open it up. So I did. And there was a teeny tiny mini 57 Chevy in there. So I took a picture and sent it back. I says, oh my gosh, you actually taught me something. And then he bought it. And then the damn post office lost it. So,
Oh man.
So not all questions from buyers are bad. I have learned a thing or two because I had no clue how to open that up. Oh, the other thing I was going to laugh. So when we came back from our day of thrifting at Plains to Profits, and it is windier than outside, you know, and everybody's a machine trying to get everything off the bus. Well, I had grabbed at the bins a pool noodle, and someone's going, someone got a pool noodle. I go, yeah, that's mine. So I sell some dinner plates and some breakables. And if you've never used the pool noodle, oh my gosh, you cut a strip, you cut a slit in it. I bubble wrap the plate. I'll put a pool noodle on 4 sides. That kind of suspends it in the box. When I sell coffee mugs, I'll cut a strip. I'll put it on the handle and I'll stretch wrap it on. They're a packer's dream with breakables.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And they're just now. So again, with being in Wisconsin, you can't buy pool noodles year round. They just came back at the dollar store. So I got to go stock up.
You can go on their website and order a whole case.
Oh, can you?
That's what I did. I went on their website because I saw a lot of paintings when I was in Tampa, and I like to put them around the frame and then shrink wrap the whole thing, and that keeps it from getting. But you can go on their website and buy a whole case. I think it's like 48 of them. Used to be $48. Now it's
another great tip we learned. Thank you.
And it's free delivery to the store. You just have to go to the store and pick it up.
That's not a problem. Oh, sweet.
Great advice. Great advice.
Someone used pool noodles? Yes. Go pool noodles.
Yeah, and I got mine at Christmas time because I'd run out, and I got red, green, and white. They actually make Christmas pool noodles. I'm not sure why, but that's what they were. They were red, green, and white.
So the post office lost your package. Okay, I haven't sold on eBay for about 3 years. I just sell on Mercari and Posh and a couple of the district sites. So did you have to reimburse them, or does eBay cover? I'm not really sure how that works. Or do you have to fight with the post office? Like with Mercari and Poshmark, I use their labels, so I'm covered. Like I would get my. So how does that work?
So I buy 99% of my labels through Pirate Ship because I upgraded to a Chase business card that I earn a 2% rebate on shipping.
Okay.
So because it's not easy to put it on a credit card on eBay. I don't know why. They want you to link it to PayPal, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I just use Pirate Ship. How this whole thing started was I had heard from, if you ever watch Lonnie and Candace on Shed Flips, and they were talking about all their issues with UPS and how USPS, and they were switching to UPS. So I happened to start scrolling through and I see, oh my gosh, this thing never shows delivery. So I messaged the buyer and he goes, nah, I don't have it. I go, I'm going to open a missing mail search. So I did that. A few days later, I get a long flowy email that basically tells me they can't find it. So then I've had to go back in and file a claim to get my money back. And now I just need to take the time to go back in and refund that buyer.
Okay. So you'll refund it, and then hopefully the post office will refund.
I'll get a check from the post office. They broke 2 other things that I actually got reimbursed for. I had each buyer send me a photo. That's when I also learned how to compress a picture on my iPad that would fit on the UPS form. All the new skills we get to learn. And I was shocked that I got both of them paid, because most people say, they want the seller or the buyer to bring everything to the post office. I got 2 checks in the mail.
Oh, because I heard when I was selling on eBay, I think from what I understand, it was easier to get a reimbursement from the post office than it is now. But apparently they're still doing. These guys are giggling, so I'm looking at you, so I'm not.
You don't have to read the chat. You don't have to read the chat. I sent a message to my wife, and everybody else just is like eating it up.
She's taking.
And I don't even think she's watching because she hasn't brought me nothing.
I made sure I brought tea with me, so I had a beverage.
I was trying to get on as fast as I could. I was telling Mike, I said, damn, I got to get on as fast as I could, but I got to do this recording real quick. So.
And Jack, unfortunately, it's not sweet tea. The guy I married when we first started dating, because, you know, growing up in Texas, as you probably know in Georgia, it's all about sweet tea. Well, he didn't drink sweet tea, so I had to learn how to get off it.
Well, I'm actually from Southern New York, the most Southern New York you can get, which is Florida. And I don't drink sweet tea at all.
Sweet tea?
I don't drink sweet tea, unsweetened tea. I don't like tea.
Okay.
But I always tell people I'm from Southern New York because when I was born in Miami, Florida. And in the 1960s and 70s, everybody in South Florida was a transplant. My parents were from Boston, Massachusetts. You know, my neighbors were from New York. My friends were all from New York. Their parents were from New York. Everybody was from New York. So I just tell everybody, I said, yeah, I'm from Southern New York.
There you go.
Florida.
I'm with you, tea. I can't even stand the smell of tea. Yeah.
I don't like tea at all.
I don't like
it.
it.
I mean, I don't mind anybody that drinks it. I don't even think Tracy likes it. Tracy's from Georgia, though. Tracy's from Georgia. She just doesn't want to get me a drink. So. Either that or she's not watching anymore. I don't know. I know she was working. She might have jumped in the shower. She was working. So.
Yeah. Yep,
she came down though. She was on with Mike live. She did great. I don't know what happened to me. It always happens though whenever I do a meetup. When I did the meetup in Nashville last year, I had surgery on my neck the day that we left to go to the meetup. So I was completely out of it the whole 2-3 days.
You felt really good.
I don't remember none of it. Tracy said I was wandering around. Here she is.
The beverage is served, sir.
Oh, yay! Good job, Tracy.
I'll say good job, baby. She so I don't remember none of it. She says I was wandering around at the meetup and just talking to people that I don't even know. And we didn't do anything after that. I mean, nothing. So because I was just completely out of it. And then we did this little small mini meetup down in Tampa with Paul. And Paul tells me, he goes, oh, yeah, all of these people want to come because they want to see you. So we're doing this little mini meetup. So I get sick on the way down to Tampa. I was fine until he said that. And then my stomach got all upset. Oh. And then so we go to Omaha. And the first night we were there was great. I met Mike. I saw Mike. I saw Tina. I think me and Tina sat across from each other at the first restaurant, which was the old Mattress Factory. Which was it was great food. Everything was really, really good. And Tina was amazing. Talking to her and her friend is great though, by the way. I heard you saying about that earlier. She just fit right in with everybody. But then
people would ask me the next day, they're like, Tina, where's your friend? I go, she's not a reseller. She just came to be my roadie.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to hire her to be mine when we go to Nashville because I don't want to get that sick feeling again. Because I guess I just get nervous because I don't know. I just get nervous around people because I think I disappoint them when they meet me and they're like, "Oh, you're Jack's Treasures. Wow, you're really not that good," you know. So I don't know. I get a little bit queasy, and I guess Tracy said I just wasn't eating the best foods. So I got sick, and I was down there when Mike was setting up, and Mike said, you're gonna come on? And I said, yeah, I had full intentions of coming on, and I was sick. I was sick then. I wasn't feeling good then, and we got up to the room, and Tracy said, you're not going down. You can't make it. So Tracy went down. So she was on with Mike. She did great.
I was a little disappointed, but actually it was like kind of good news, bad news. I really wanted you on, Brian. Absolutely. But
now I really feel bad.
No. But since you have a reputation for being a podcast killer,
yeah, I
didn't want to take the chance of.
I've killed a couple podcasts now.
My history of being live. I'm such a new channel, but I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah. Mike, your channel is amazing. I actually have been during our videos when we do a lot of recording on our videos. I always tell people, I say, look, you need to go see Mike's meetups. He's amazing. Mike makes everybody feel welcome. And Mary does too. Mary is amazing. She filled in for Corey on the Unemployed for a Living podcast, and I was with her and Ken, and she did great. I learned so much. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to meet Mary. She's gonna be a lot of fun in Nashville. I'm gonna hang with Mary. F Mike.
With you.
He didn't even want me on his podcast. No, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be different though, Mike, because remember you went to Boss. How many people were at Boss? Would you estimate?
This year?
Yeah.
120.
All right, 120 people at Boss. And so you go to Boss, and was that a difference from that to Planes to Profit, which was about 40, 45 people?
Yeah, well, and completely different for a number of reasons. I mean, both great meetups.
Right.
When people ask me what's your favorite meetup, that's a tough question because you have to qualify that with what's your favorite, this type of meetup, this kind of type of meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Boss is really like a conference. It really is a learning situation where they have like different programs. They have like 20 speakers, and you're sitting down. It's 3 days of learning, different panels and things like that. So the intent of the Boss is that it's instructional. Although we have time to let our head down as well. So it's a fun meetup. The Planes to Profit is kind of like entirely different. I mean, it's really not meant to be informative. I mean, we had one little session for 2 hours on the last day called the Meetings of the Minds, which was just informal, 4 or 5 different people speaking, and that was it. The rest of the time is just like hanging out, really just networking. And, Corey even said that he particularly designed it to be no more than 50 people because what can happen in a bigger meetup, you kind of get lost in the crowd and you might end up. Now me, I'm like, I get out there, I try to mingle with everyone, but to be honest, I don't speak to everybody at Boss. I'm sure I'm not going to get a chance to speak to everybody at Nashville. But
that's what's going to be my point. Nashville is supposed to be over 200.
Over 200
people there.
And now with Planes to Profit, it was quite the opposite. I mean, you were forced to really speak to everyone. Corey put 50 people on this bus, and we went around town and did thrifting. We went to 3 different, thrift stores. And I tell you, you get together with 50 people on a small bus, you get to know everybody, and it was great. It's really good. It was really, really, really a lot of fun. So different features for different meetups,
Yeah.
So real good.
And Nashville is going to be even more. So it's going to be really hard to have that one-on-one time, because everybody's going to want to meet Mike. I mean, of course. All right. It's Mike. Everyone wants to meet Mike.
Yeah.
And Mary, and then you have Ray and all of the other people that are there. Ken is going to be there and everybody else. And it's just going to be so many people. I'm just hoping I can get that 5-minute hug time in,
Mary, for sure.
Oh, I'm giving Mary a big bear hug. You know that. Are you kidding me? You've already gotten yours, Mike. You already got yours. I'm going to give him another one. I think it's going to be the peck on the cheek one. I did that with Apex Jeff, and he had no idea it was coming. And he commented on that on Ray's channel. He goes, "Yeah, Brian gave me a peck on the cheek," and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I did."
No, it's funny you say it. I gotta watch. I gotta be careful. Like I'm Italian, right? Now Italians, we're known for like affectionate, embracing, and hugs on and little pecks on the cheek. So I was like, that's like maybe the 3rd or 4th time that I had met Kevin, the Commonwealth picker. Now we would always hug, it was always a hug. And this one particular time, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I gave him a nice big hug and I kissed him on the cheek. I felt so embarrassed. He never said anything. I don't know if Kevin. Someone said Kevin.
Kevin's supposed to be at Nashville too.
He will be, yeah.
Kevin, I mean, why would he be upset? He's a swinger, right? Right?
No, that's true. But
you just look like a pineapple, man. That's it. I like how you said you were forced to speak to 50 people. I don't see how that happens. I've never seen you around 50 people that you didn't speak to every single one.
Absolutely. Just want to say hi to Jake. J-Ride's in the house.
J-Ride.
Flip.
J-Ride flips.
And I kind of like how I think Corey and Teresa planned to try to keep Planes to Profit at that smaller group
yeah.
because
Absolutely.
they really want that networking. And not that it would have been a bad thing, but it wasn't a late night party group. You know, people were genuinely interested in chatting and learning about each other and their businesses and how they do things. And, you know, when they were prepping to do the live auction with the mystery boxes, Jess is over there showing us on her phone how, you know, how the dollarauction.com works. And so and not that I'm a teetotaler, excuse the pun, with drinking tea, but again, it wasn't a go off the deep end the 3 nights I was there.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I agree. You shouldn't drink. I agree. Yeah.
The only one I've been to is Crossville, and I do feel like it was awesome, but it wasn't like there were hundreds of people there. But that really enabled me to really get to talk to a lot of the people. I mean,
Yeah.
I met Mike, the guys in the locker room, Jefferson, I mean, it was awesome. So Nashville is going to be a lot different for me because literally the Pick in the Plateau is the first one I've been to. But the Pick in the Plateau, you had your regular meetup, but then you also had your late night party people. So we kind of had a mix of it. It was so much fun though. So I'm really excited for Nashville.
So I'm thinking for next year's Planes to Profit, I know John Resale Rabbit brought a bunch of boxes of chocolates from a local chocolate maker here in town. I'm thinking I should bring some 6-packs of the infamous New Glarus Spotted Cow beer.
Oh, you should. Absolutely.
That is only sold in Wisconsin.
Nice.
And bring plenty. Bring a lot.
Depends on how far the credit card will go.
I'm just kidding.
I know that one. So, Mary, you're going to be hanging out on that Friday night down in on Broad Street.
Well, Friday night I'll be at Jolly Ollie's.
Is it Saturday night? Is the night that they're all going downtown?
Yeah, my son and I are going to get in on Friday. Now I'm not sure. I know Franklin isn't that far away, so I have this idea that maybe we can get over to Dave Ramsey's studio like before we actually go to our hotel in Goodlettsville. Is that what I know?
Yeah, Goodlettsville is where the official hotel is. Yes,
my hotel is like 2 minutes away from the official hotel, so yeah, it's all in the same area. So, but I'll be at the at Jolly Ollie's by 5 or whatever that starts. But Saturday night, Joe, my son and I, we're going to hang out at the game terminal. At this point, we're not planning on going to downtown Nashville. We're just going to hang out at the game terminal all night. How about you guys?
I mean, I'm way too old.
Oh.
Way
game
too
terminal.
Old. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a game terminal that you go to and you pay to go in, and they have all these retro games and they're free to play after you pay to get in. I don't know it's like $12 or $15 or something like that. And they have all of the old arcade games from back in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, I might be hanging out there with you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. My son collects vintage video games. And so I think that's going to be a real blast for him. And so, yeah, we're just going to kind of stay put there. It sounds like, and I know there's some other people that are just going to stay put there from what I understand.
Yeah, I did the downtown. Tracy and I did it. We actually stayed downtown about 2 months ago. And it's neat. It's neat. It's like Vegas, but country style. So that's the way I kind of equate it without the gambling though, and the obvious smell in the air from Vegas, what's legal. Yeah. And, not in Nashville.
We should have set up one of those bicycles where we all just ride around.
Yeah. Oh. I think Ray's actually thinking about doing that.
Oh, I'll have to get with Ray. I always wanted to do that.
Yeah, they did it in Dallas at one of the meetups in Dallas last year. And the host, which was Derek Fundamentals, his wallet fell out. He stood up and his wallet fell out. and it was in the middle of the road, and he was able to jump off, get his wallet, and get back on the thing before any tragedy happened.
Oh,
That's
If that was
dicey
me,
in
I'd be
Texas
like, that
traffic.
wallet's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping out.
Cancel the
traffic.
cards.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever heard of? I think they're called pedal wagons, where you're all sitting around. It's a vehicle. There is a driver, but then everybody.
Yeah. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
what
what
we're
Talking about.
Yeah.
We should do a
that's what
pedal
it
wagon.
reminded me of? Okay,
Yeah,
so
they have a lot of them too down there.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time I was
I've
there.
done that before.
Yeah, I know. Bearded King, Beard King Picker. He lives in Nashville. I know that. So he's been making comments on that about the downtown area and stuff. But there's a lot of like, what are they? When a woman gets married, where they have that bachelorette parties. Yeah, it was a long time before when I got married. But yeah, they have a lot of those down there. A lot of graduation parties down there, and this is going to be the season for it too. Right about that time.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I know last year Kristen Auroral Squirrel rode a bull, a mechanical bull, in one of the bars down in the downtown area. I didn't go to that either because I didn't go to anything. I was like wacko. So, what is Tracy saying?
Oh my gosh.
Well, the nice thing about the meetups.
God dang it!
Bending part.
Yeah, the nice thing about
You don't have to put that up, Mike. Do not put that one up.
Yeah,
Alex said there was no partying.
I didn't even see it yet. I'll keep it up. Yeah, but I was starting to say was the nice thing about Nashville coming up, and just about all of them for the most part, is it's menu a la carte. You don't have to go to anything, or you can go to all of it, or there's no obligations, obviously. So depending on your energy level or the opportunities, if you want to sleep in or you want to party some more later on, there's no judgments. You catch all of it or as little of it as you want. And
Yeah,
it's all good. But it's nice that all these meetups really go bend over backwards to give the attendees every opportunity to have a good time, whether it be something, or to meet to do stuff and have a good time, get educated, hang out, with everyone. And like I said, the best part for me was like outside of the actual structure of the meetups, where you just like meet in the morning for breakfast, and that's how I corralled Jefferson the first time. We had breakfast, and I said, "You want to go do some picking?" And we've been like garage sale partners ever since.
You want me on your side? Feed the fat man. I'm in. And I don't understand about bachelorette parties why they always carry around little mini penises. What's that about? Can somebody explain that to me? They have like penis necklaces, penis hats, penis straws. What is that all about?
No doubt.
Okay, no one knows.
Not me.
Because we don't do the opposite for the bachelor party. I'm just saying. We don't walk around with many anything.
Rhonda's in the house. Hi, jovial juggler. Just spotted you. How you doing, dear?
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think my favorite part of going to the Omaha meetup was meeting the people, the breakfast time, sitting and talking with Tina and sitting with the couple that I sat with on the bus, which I forgot what their names were because there were so many people. That's the hard part for me, is remembering everybody that was there. And I know I did not talk to everybody at that meetup, and there wasn't even that many people that were there. But what Mike said, it's that other thing where you just sit down. Yeah. I'm sitting outside of the antique mall, and I'm talking to Reseller Rabbit, and I have no idea that I'm talking to a guy who buys at an auction. He's in Wisconsin, in Green Bay is where he's home base from. And he buys at an auction from an auction house that's about 10 miles away from where I live. And I live in Dallas, Georgia. And he sends a semi down here to pick up all of this stuff. And I'm going, who the hell is this kid? He's like 20 some odd years old. And I just sat there and started learning and everything. And just absorbing it, and it was amazing, and just a hell of a nice guy to talk to. And then to come to find out he's got 2 billion followers on YouTube and everything, and I'm sitting here with my little 500 going, woo, I got 500, man. I'm on my way.
He really is. I I hadn't been, and I pretty much try to pride myself on knowing everyone, but you can't know everyone. You learn
Right.
as you go along. And I wasn't familiar with John at all, but we got
Well,
friendly.
And
Pardon?
John is one of those. He has several different businesses. He does these, goes and buys pallets. He does, I think, 3 warehouse sales a year, and he kind of sets it up like, and we never had an Amazon store here, but it's like day 1, it's 10, then it drops to 9, 8, 7, and then it's fill a bag, and he has a special buy section. That's one arm of his business. He resells on eBay. He also has a license to do estate sales. He does that. He also got into when the department store chain Shopko was going out of business. I think he bought out 9 Shopko stores in our area and either sold that online and did things when some other stores were going out of business. He bought out our Party City that closed up. And he's got his fingers on a lot of different things. He buys storage units. So he's, it's impressive and how he manages to juggle all of that. I think he's got 2 full-time employees and his eBay guy had left, but he was just had just found another guy who was interested. So
Tina, did you hear him talking about how he started, that he was going around, and why he called himself Reseller Rabbit was because he was just buying everywhere and staying at hotels and buying in California and in Ohio and Florida and Texas and New York. And I'm just sitting there going like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
And then I think it was someone in the Carolinas he met that taught him what he's doing with all the pallets he's buying in Georgia, taught him how to do that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I told him, I said, hit me up the next time you're going over to the auction house, because I'll head over there with you. But that was amazing. And what you were saying, just getting that time to sit out there. I mean, we had already been in the antique mall. And so Tracy and I got our couple of things and stuff. And we were just hanging out in the thing, waiting for the bus. And that's the best part of these meetups, is getting to meet these people and talk to these people. And that, I think, because for me, it makes everything that I do and the mess that I live in and the confusion that I live in makes sense. Because when my family found out, I was a teacher. I taught for 18 years and I quit being a teacher to be a reseller, sort of similar to Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker. And they all looked at me like I had a hole in my head. I said, are you crazy? You're going to give up a career? You went to college, you got your degree, you got all this other kind of stuff, and you're giving that up to sell on eBay? And I'm like, yeah, I would rather do that. But when you talk to Mike and you talk to Tina and all of these other folks that are out there, it makes sense of what you do. It almost gives you validity. I don't know words.
Validity. You got it right the first time. Yep.
Yeah. Tracy will correct me in the chat. Don't worry. She's been doing it all night.
And it really rounds out an otherwise lonely existence. I mean, the combination of, engaging in the community once I finally got out to go to meetups, and what I enjoy at home, although it's lonely, really kind of combines into like a cool experience, because just to like hang out and list and source a little bit, go out and pack every day. I don't know, after like 3 or 4 years, maybe it might have got a little tiring. I mean, I love it, but don't get me wrong. But once I was able to really find that there was people out there, like-minded people that I could really go out and really have a goof with. I mean, it's like amazing, and just it gets me from I get back home, I'm exhilarated. I want to do it again, and then I know I'm always looking forward to another meetup down the line for a few months or half a year later or whatever, and I'm looking forward to that. So it's the coolest thing. Absolutely, nothing like it.
Yeah. Archie is right. Meeting Meg Lilac, reseller, she was awesome.
Lilac seller, yeah.
She was awesome. Oh, and did you remember? Did you see Amanda? Did you ever talk to Amanda, Mike?
I'm not remembering who's Amanda.
Amanda. She was the one who was really shy. And it was the first time she'd ever been to a meetup, and she was almost always sitting by herself in a back corner. And I always tried to go over and talk to her and stuff, because I know what that's like, to say, no, don't worry, just come on over. Everybody puts their pants on the same way over here, But she had a great time when we met her, and I talked to her almost every day. But she was at the meeting of the minds. She really came out of her shell and started talking and asking questions of the people that were the guest speakers, of which Mike was one, and an amazing speaker, by the way, at the meeting of the minds.
Was
So,
her
Brian, when you
last
talked
name
about
Hugging Kiss?
What's that?
So, Brian, when you talked about the bus, Meg was sitting next to me, and we started chatting. And I learned she's from Sturgeon Bay. She's like 40 minutes up the road from me. She's at the base of Door County. And there's an area I've been wanting to get into south of me to thrift. And I said, hey, would you want to come meet me in Green Bay? And let's go spend the day down in the West Bend area. And she said, I'm in. And I like that. I have another friend that I thrift with, but she has 3 dogs, so she can't be gone for, an entire day. And I find it's just kind of a fun way to drive maybe 2 hours into an area I've not been into before. You never know if you're going to score or not. And especially, so Meg is mostly into reselling books. So when you're not competing for the same merchandise, even better.
Hey, Zena. Yeah, it is nice. I know Mary lives in Ohio, and so does Ken, SSK Promo. And you're not that far, right? It's like an hour or 2 hours or something.
No, maybe an hour. Maybe.
Wow.
And they've never met, but they've known of each other for a long time. And they're going to be meeting in Nashville instead of Ohio.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity in Ohio, and I've realized that. And I says we really got to cook up something in Ohio for a meetup. And actually, that's going to happen.
I told Mary I'm going to get a P.O. box in Ohio just so that I can go to the Ohio Resellers Meetup. She said that I could because I'm in Georgia.
Well, I actually planned one in 2020. I created a Facebook group. I had talked to, I know Dad Planet doesn't hang out like in these chats, but Dad Planet is a YouTuber, and I talked to him. I talked to my friend Courtney Bolo Buddies. Courtney was doing lives at the time on YouTube, and she promoted on her channel. I don't know, but Millennial Prophet is here. Flipping Junk. I talked to him about it because I actually met him when I did a local pickup for him, and he's got a big channel. I mean, I can't imagine you guys haven't heard of Flipping Junk, but if you haven't, he's got a big channel. And so I told him that, there are a lot of people in Ohio. But anyway, in 2020 I planned one, and then we all know what happened in 2020. I was going to have it over at Urban Meyer's 70 Pint House. And I mean, I had the place booked and everything. And then I just never revisited it after, after we couldn't meet up in 2020, because I think it was going to be in June, or I can't remember exactly what month it was, but it was going to be over the summer.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot more meetups.
Yeah. I wanted to mention some meetups are coming up before that. I just didn't want to forget. Say hello to my friend Zena. I was so happy to finally meet Zena and Jessica Resell to Ride.
They were amazing.
Really great. And we went garage selling on the Saturday. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. It was a good opportunity to meet them, and they did that live auction the last night. It was great. I just want to get we got to do a little work here, right, Mary? I mean, we would be delinquent in our responsibilities if we didn't advocate for all of the meetups. And when we're talking about a meetup in Ohio coming up, it reminded me that for those of you who don't know, Katie and Vicky, who are the hosts for the Boss Meetup in Las Vegas, who are very big in the meetup community, they sponsor the local Las Vegas reseller meetup, and they have their own meetings. They are doing a cross country meetup. And they're bringing. They bought out Diane's stock. Diane, for those of you who might not know, passed away just recently. I think it was New Year's this year.
Oh, wow.
And her family sold Vicky all of her merchandise, and Vicky is in Vegas, and she lived in Boston. And Trish Glenn, who you might know from List Perfectly, friend of ours, friend of Vicky's. Anyway, long story short, they're making a cross-country trip in a 30-foot box truck with all of the merchandise, and they're going to do 10 meetups throughout the country. I'm going to be going to the first one. It's going to be in Boston, I think May 4th or 5th. As soon as I get back from Nashville, the first leg is going to be in Boston, and then the third or fourth leg is, I have it here. The third or fourth leg is going to be in all right. So the fourth of May, the first one will be in Boston. Then on the 6th they'll be in Maryland, and then on the 7th they'll be in Pittsburgh. And on the 8th they'll be in Akron, Ohio, and then the 10th Chicago, and Des Moines, Iowa on the 11th, Kansas City on the 12th, Denver on the 14th, and St. George, Utah on the 16th, and then returning to Vegas on the 17th. So there's 10 meetups. That one of them's got to be close to home. So if you want to have an opportunity to check it out, go on Katie and Vicky's channel, and it's just called Katie and Vicky, and you get all the details. They have a Facebook group. We're advertising it on our channel as well. So if you're near any of those areas, take an opportunity to go and hang out. And they're informal. It's not a big deal. Most of them are just going to you might meet in a parking lot. They might have lunch. They might have dinner, whatever. But all the details are on the eBay channel as well as on Katie and Vicky's channel and on our channel as well. If you have any questions, contact any one of us. We'll be glad to direct you. And these are all each one of these 10 groups are one of the many eBay seller groups. So it's all in concert with that. So they're all coordinated and sponsored, and you can get all the information right off the eBay site as well.
That's a road trip.
Yeah. They are all on like Mike was saying, they're all on the eBay community events page. Most of them actually have like a little caricature of Vicky and Trish on the event, so you know what is theirs. But even if they come, if they're going to one that is kind of was already one that was planned, then it still says it's part of their road trip. And then Katie and Vicky also have a Facebook group, and they have posted all the dates in that group. And so you can join their group and see it there. And I mean, of course, I'll be posting them too, but those are a couple places. I know Alex was saying that was a lot of information. Yes. But those are places that you can find it. They're already, at least most of them, I think maybe all of them are already up on the eBay community events page.
They are.
And then you can tell by their little icon. Yeah. But then again, also in the Katie and Vicky group on Facebook.
So that'd be a good opportunity. Like I says, if any of them were cross by your town, or even, I'm driving 3 hours to Boston, and I'm excited because this is going to be my first drive-to meetup. I typically, I'm not driving to Vegas, or I'm not driving down to Florida. I'll just jump in a plane, but Boston's close enough. So when you get in my car, and I'll have my car to be able to do some thrifting and not have to worry about bringing 2 suitcases like I usually do to get my treasures back home with me. So looking forward to that. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they'll be happy to see you. They don't have to wait, until Vegas again. So they'll be happy to see you.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think we're caught up in the chat, and I think I don't know. Maybe we start thinking about wrapping it up. We're on for an hour and a half already. So I'll just give a couple of minutes for anyone who might have any questions or want to say hi in the chat, or any of our panel would like to say any last words. And I think we'll, maybe start thinking about closing it out. I'll go all night, but I know that these, I could just talk and talk and talk, and I don't want to outwear my welcome. So,
do you guys have anything you want to share?
I just want to say thanks for extending the invite. This has been fun. It's always nice, learning new names. There's new names in the chat that I haven't seen before. So thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Well, you're Tina with the Lake Exchange, Tina. Of course.
Tina's amazing. I'm going to just tell y'all right now, if you ever have a chance to meet Tina, do it. Okay. She's going to talk to you. Okay. And she's going to make you feel like you're part of the family. She really does. I mean, she just walks right over and says, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Tina," and blah, blah, blah. And she just goes. She's like the Energizer Bunny.
All kind of
And that
people,
is that is not my husband. I'm the person that if I'm at the airport and we've got a couple hours to kill, I'll strike up a conversation and he'll be like, "Oh my God, she's talking to strangers again."
Tracy does that with me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jefferson.
My wife does that. She's never met a stranger in her life,
Aw.
but you know, she puts up with me, so I love her to death. But hey, Mike, thanks for having me. I enjoyed this.
My pleasure. I'm glad you
It
came
was
by.
great hanging out with you.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
It was great seeing you again, Jefferson, too.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you. It's nice to meet you, or
Yep.
we see you guys in person, right? So
Yeah, it's always fun.
spend a little time hanging out, and
Definitely.
we'll see you in Nashville. I wish you
Yeah,
were
that's gonna
coming,
be fun.
but you know what? I'm gonna have to go to Omaha next year because I really want to go to that. I really would have wished I would have been able to go this year, but I changed jobs and
Yeah, great
Savannah,
meetup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few that are really, we can look forward to. I mean, I'm at this point, I think the only two at this point that I can definitively say will be held next year is Omaha and Nashville. Then the other ones, newer ones might spring up, and other ones that are somewhat defunct might, come out of retirement. But I can't really, speak specifically.
Yeah, Mike, you gotta form one official Mike
and the
Metco
Ohio
meetup.
one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, in Ohio, and we'll plan that every year going forward until we get to the point that
Perfect.
we can't.
Right. Well, actually, next year we've been Jefferson and I have been talking about doing one in his partner Joel's from Pocket Changes area. So I think next
Greensboro, North Carolina. I definitely need to set that up.
It's June, right? It's the Highway 301 sale.
Yeah, now there's a 14-mile sale that actually happens in Greensboro once a year. It was a couple of weeks ago. I got to figure out when that is. It's not that big, but it's the kickoff of their yard sale. So the whole town of Greensboro pretty much participates. He was super excited because he hasn't done yard sales. He's just new to this whole thing. I went to that one I met you at that Harry Tornado set up. And I went and stayed at his house the week before it. And he was like, I don't understand this whole eBay thing you're doing. Because anybody that doesn't do eBay or doesn't resell, I talk to this guy every day. Well, not every other day, but every weekend for like an hour. And I'm just talking about, I got this for a nickel and sold it for $20. And so I went and hung out with him. And he's like, explain this to me. I said, all right, here's $20. Let's go make at least $200. And we went yard selling and we hit a thrift store. Spent the $20 and we had like $400 worth of inventory. Well, you know what? He was hooked. He opened an eBay store. He's like, let's do a podcast. And it's cool. And Joel, he does all this other stuff in life. And, but this is his new passion. And we did our podcast for a while. I'm still doing it. We're doing the pick and pass now. So we each go out and find items. We don't look them up ahead of time. And then we look them up and make a little podcast about, hey, was this a good buy or not? So that's our thing. So yes, we need to go there, Mike, and set that up and do that. And once we establish it, we'll keep going until we're 93.
Sounds good.
Or I'm 93 and you're 138.
Yeah, I don't got far to go. I don't got too far to go to 93, I'll tell you. But,
I'm saying you're 138, I'm 93. It works out.
Funny. But yeah, thanks everyone. Some program notes. Keep an eye on the channel because we will be starting to put out some content. Mary and I have help now. So Mary and I will be able to film all the highlights of the Nashville event. And then we will have a live. I think it's going to be that Friday night, right around the time when Joe and Nicole are going to do their, the game show.
Yeah.
And
that's going to be fun.
Work it in, and then we're gonna. I think we'll go live during the karaoke. It'll be some fun things, and then of course I'll do a wrap up. But I think I like the way this live hangout worked out tonight. And it was a little raw, as I always say. I'm a work in progress, and I'll polish it up and I'll get a little bit better. But I'm going to do like a live hangout as the wrap up to all the meetups from now on because it's a lot of fun. It's another opportunity for us as a community to get together and have some laughs and just to chew the fat, as they say. So really cool that you all came out tonight. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. And thanks everyone for joining in, and thanks everyone on the panel for joining in as well.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.
Peace
Yeah.
out.
Thank you.
Everybody.